Hello and welcome to Shredder's Zoo. Thank you for joining me today for the second installment this week where we're going to be at the lake building another enclosure, this time for the Hesperornis. So I'm looking at the lake here coming out from the Kairuku exhibit that we did yesterday. It's quite a narrow piece of river here, bit of lake. I call it the lake, it's not really a lake, I don't know what you would call it, an inlet I suppose, because it leads right out into the ocean. But there's quite a narrow area here, so I'm thinking that we might do the same what we did with Kairuku and go straight across. Obviously with the wider sections further back here where it kind of opens up a little bit, I've got a walkway going all the way down the centre and we have exhibits either side. Those are all separated out. But as we get into this part, it narrows quite significantly. We've got all the way across for the Kairukus. I think we'll do the same for the Hesperornis. There are these nice kind of river rocks which I think I might want to kind of incorporate. So if I build my my fence coming sort of somewhere where the sort of Pteranodon's head is, sort of right there going across at this point, it gives them quite a large area for them to just kind of swim around in. Hesperornis were kind of seabirds. They spent almost their entire lives either flying or over the water as far as I understand. So yeah, we'll try and incorporate that into the build. I'm thinking we might use some of the tall pillar rocks. We'll stick a couple in the middle to kind of give them kind of perches that they can kind of sit on. But other than that, we'll do mostly kind of water-based decorations and stuff. So yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. So the first job I'm going to do is build the fence going across. See, also we have on both sides here, we have these pathways that lead up from the viewing of the Kairukus here. We go up the stairs and then we need to kind of build this pathway up for the visitors to look through. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to get building on the fence and I'll meet you back when that's done. Actually, slight change of plan. I think what I might do is just I'll keep you with me for the moment while I build the pathway. So there's going to be a two wide pathway of stone foundations going along this way. I think we can get away with that. It's not going to dig into the ground too much on this side. And I think if I build it up to this kind of little ridge area of the cliff just here. Ooh, what happened there? Okay, we're stacking now. And it should actually work out quite nicely. That's about where I want it. Yeah, it's about where I want it. So we'll see if we can how far along we can get this to go. And we'll try and stack these up if they will. Like this. Oh, can you get this on? Oh, here we go. It's going to be an awkward one. And there we go. Okay. So how much further? That might be about right. Let me just quickly fly up to the top there. There we go. So let's see, that doesn't go into the rocks too much, and straight across there. That gives them quite a decent range. I think what I might do is just come out one more, if I can, and that should be about right. Yeah. Then I'll build the fence coming off this way. Will go. It goes sort of in between those two rocks right here. Do I want to go one more maybe and incorporate these two? Oh, we can add rocks in, I suppose. Yeah, we've even got the option to add in river rocks, so I could. I just thought that'd be nice to kind of incorporate the natural structure. So yeah, I think that's about right, and that's certainly going to be that's maybe even too big. Hesperornis is quite small. Let's quickly spawn one in, and we'll just see what they look like. So if we go to look on my little list here, and we'll go Hesperornis, make sure the tame box is ticked. You can't see this, but I can. There we go, there's a Hesperornis. So we'll make it unfollow. So here we go. That's a nice colour one. Look at that blue. That's blue and purple. That's pretty cool. So okay, yeah, no, I think that would be a decent size. We definitely don't want any bigger than that. So what I'm going to do is build the fences. These should snap hopefully. If I can get it to come off. Just like that, there we go, and then I'll build that straight across. That should be absolutely perfect to fill in with the fence, and then we'll do something similar on the other side, because again we've got the pathway to come around the sort of edge of the Kairuku exhibit there. So yeah, we'll come back when we need to that point. Okay, I've put in the fence supports. I haven't put in the railings just yet, but I just want to get an idea of where the path is going to go on this side, so as to know what kind of shape and how far up the beach to come. So with the Kairukus, we kind of did this kind of angled bit. I kind of curved it around this way. So we've got this kind of, I think what we might be able to do is bring a path down here so that the visitors can kind of get a little bit closer in, and then we'll come back out again. We'll see how that works, but we'll build this path around. I've got some foundations. I've also got some triangle foundations as well, which will come in quite handy when we need to turn the corners. But for the time being, we can actually, wrong button, we can get this built out a little bit further to about here, I think, and then we can turn the corner. That would be quite good. We'll get the, oh yeah, especially as we're now disappearing into the ground. Okay, if we come back out though, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Oh, what are we going to do with that? Guess we can get away with that. Well, we'll see what we can do. We'll build this a bit further out. Ideally you want it kind of too wide like this. It's just the path is being it needs to be swept. The zookeepers need to kind of get onto that. Okay, we'll carry on. Let's curve it a little bit more as well with the triangles. Just about works. There we go, and then we can actually come out in this kind of angle. So we're a bit far away. I wonder if there's any way we could fill this in. I don't think there really is from the options that we have with the building. It's not quite going to be the same. I mean, the triangles there. Actually, yeah, we can do this. There we go. Perfect. I wasn't sure if that was going to match up properly, but it does. That's really good. And then I guess we can come out. Let's bring out the triangles again, like this, and then we can come in this way a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a zigzaggy path, but I think that might look quite good. Do it like this. It fits in nicely. Triangles. Yeah, perfect. It doesn't quite go over there. Oh, I'm liking it so far. That's pretty good. We'll come out this way. A little bit of a zigzaggy path. We'll have to put some kind of... Does a triangle fit in there? If I can push the right button, it does. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that looks really good. I like that. I like that a lot. So that's going to come in this way. We'll go in one more. Or shall we actually, instead of doing that, let me just quickly get my demo gun back in its proper slot. Let's actually curve back out again with the triangles, because we don't want to go too far into the enclosure. Here we go, and then we can come back out this way and make the path come out this way. There we go, and then what we'll do is we'll get this path can now, or the railings can come in straight across here and then match up over there. Not too bad. Right, the weather is getting pretty bad. I'm going to wait until it's passed, and I'll see you in a moment. Alright guys, so you join me as I just put the finishing touches to go there. So this is going to be for the visitors to walk along. This is the pathway, and I've got metal railings denoting the edges of the actual enclosure itself. So I think it's got a pretty decent size. So it makes it actually look like the Karuku's area is a little bit smaller than it should be, but never mind. This is what we've got. I don't think we need to put too much in it really. We definitely need some more rocks and things, and we'll do the same as what we've done. We'll put in the ferns and the bushes, and maybe a few more rocks, and maybe bits of coral or something underneath. But we'll definitely we're on our way to doing this one. Looks pretty good one. So basically I've built the path going along. It kind of zigzags along. Can't really get the angles to be exactly the same as the fence, unfortunately. But that's about the best I can do. It looks pretty good though. We've got this large sort of area here. I think this is definitely going to be an enclosure for something in the future. I really think this would be just kind of wasted space if we don't use it. And I am sort of struggling to find places to put new enclosures now, because we've taken up pretty much the whole of the plateau up there. But that one definitely. Maybe next weekend we'll put something in here. I think I know what might go in there. Yeah, well, let's see how that goes. But anyway, we've got this pathway going along. We've got the fences along all the way around the outside. So I think now it is time to decorate. So I'm going to grab all the kind of bits and pieces that I need, and I'll join you back, and we'll get to decorating this area. Okay, I've had a really good idea for what I want to do for these guys. But first of all, let's put in. Oh my god! Okay, the river rocks that we have access to are a little bit smaller. That's okay. We can put a little cluster of them here, I guess. Actually, what is that weird black? That's a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, maybe I won't use any more of those. They look No, I don't like them. They look weird. Something's gone on with them. Can I pick these up with these things? I can. Oh, now that's just there permanently. Okay, fine. That's weird. That's just a bit odd. Okay, never mind. We'll leave that for now. Let's go on to the main part. So what I thought is, now I know these aren't flamingos, but I remember going to a zoo recently that had a flamingo exhibit. They had breeding flamingos there, which apparently, I'm sure it was, or was it flamingos? Or was it storks? Oh man, I can't remember what it was now. Well, whatever it was one of the two. It was either flamingos or some kind of stork. I think it might have been storks actually. And apparently breeding them is really, really difficult because they have very particular nesting requirements. And what they'd actually done is they'd built them this nest, this nesting complex on pillars, which is apparently the only way they could get them to breed. And I just thought that would be an amazing thing to do, by putting a few of these pillars. Sort of, I know that these aren't storks and things, but it's a similar kind of bird-ish. You know, it looks a little bit like it anyway. So I thought what we might try and do is we'll stick some kind of rocks like that, put on the pillars, and then I'll build a little platform for them to kind of sit on, and just kind of match what I saw in that zoo. So that's kind of the idea I have. If we can, is it going to snap? It is. We'll get there. That's maybe a little too close. We'll move it onto the next one, and then we should be able to take away that. That's fantastic. So we can put on another couple of pillars. Ooh, like this. There we go. And then we can put the rock in place like that. Yeah, and then I'll put like a little platform on the top, maybe a little thatched roof, something like that. We'll give them a bit of a nesting place. I think that'll look pretty good. So also we've got these as well. We'll stick a load of these about. Stick a load on the beach here. That makes it look pretty good, like that. Actually, you know what? I don't like those ones there. Let's move them off a little bit. But yeah, so that's kind of the sort of thing I want to do. And I'll build a few more of those. I'll build maybe 4 kind of in a row. That looks pretty and good idea actually. So that's going to snap there. That's too close. We'll bring it out to the next snap point, and then again we want it on. Oh no, not there. That wasn't quite in the right place. I want it kind of matched up, so that's where we want it. Perfect. So that's where we'll build the little tower, and we'll build it there. Perfect. And I can take away these and that one, and yeah, that'll look really good. So we'll get the rocks in as well. Try and place it about there. Make it look as natural as possible, but it is still obvious that it is a man-made nesting place. Fantastic. I'll get some thatched roofs in a moment. We'll put them on top of there, and that'll be that little sort of central bit. That's fantastic. So I'm going to put in a few more rocks and bits and pieces, get this looking nice, and then we'll see what we can do with the nesting posts. Okay, so here we go. So here, the decorations as far as the beach is concerned, there's a bunch of these rocks. I really like the look of the rocks with this wisp grass sort of growing up in between it, and then around the edges we've got some bushes and ferns and things, another rock, and a few more bushes, that sort of thing. So I think that looks pretty good. We're going to do, I've got some lily pads, I think, just perhaps a splash of lily pads up in a corner in the water just over here would look quite nice, just to kind of give it something a little bit extra. And just a little sort of patch of those. Got some more over here. Just put maybe around these rocks, like, you know, the sort of, they've taken seed around this particular rock and sort of spread all the way around it. I think it might look quite nice. And we'll do a little bit more like that. There we go, nice little splash there. Perfect. And then so let's just quickly do over the other side, and I'll show you just kind of what I've been doing. I've already placed the rocks here, you saw me do that. So all I've really do is just this wisp grass, perhaps a couple of little sprigs of it on each kind of patch of rock. Sort of, I think it looks really nice. Sort of, so something that looks like it would kind of grow up in between the rocks, like that. And then what we want to do, perhaps in the corners and things, to kind of fill up the little gaps, is we stick in the bushes, maybe a slightly smaller bush in this corner, like this. And I've got 3 different sizes of bushes here. We can just kind of do a little sort of dotting along, perhaps right in the corner here, like that. Slightly bigger one here, looks quite good. And again, you know, we could actually do something here. We'll do some of the larger bushes maybe in this point here to kind of fill up that little gap there, and then of course maybe they would have spread their growth a little bit to come out into this sort of area here. We'll do a couple of little smaller ones like this. Okay, so now we'll have to stick over this area here. I want to keep these because this is not something I've got access to. This is a natural feature of the map, and I think it looks really good, these kind of dead kind of driftwood type things. So what we'll do is we'll stick some ferns in and around these areas. So I don't really know how the ferns and things really kind of fit in with the natural habitat of these birds, but I'm just working with what I've got really. We'll stick in one of the big fountain palms in that area. That looks perfect. And then over here we can do one of these little sort of palm clusters like that. And there we go. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. We'll leave this kind of a bit more open, a bit of sort of beach for them to wade in. So now we need to figure out the nesting site that we've got here. I think this is going to look amazing. So what I will do is, let's see, are they level actually? Did I do enough? Yes, they are. So I think, what do we think? I'm thinking thatched roofs. Let's play about and see what it looks like. Alright, so here's what it's going to look like, either in thatch, wood or stone. So I think thatch is definitely the best. Yeah, we'll definitely put in the thatch. So I'll get rid of these ones. Don't like the look of them. And then thatch. We'll stick just one ceiling on each one. No, it's not where I wanted to put it. I'll take that. Thatch like this. I'm trying to think how it looked at the zoo I went in. It was pretty much that. I'm not sure whether they had like a little ramps going in between each one, like little catwalks that we could use. That might work, although I'm not sure whether that would actually fit in. Of course they would have to be wood. I don't think there's any thatch catwalks, but on the other hand, maybe just leaving it like that would be okay. What I'll need to do is when we spawn them in, we'll have to try and see if we can throw them on top of there. Let's see if we can actually do this right now. So we can pick this guy up. Now we need to try and aim it and throw it on. What? Oh, you went down there. Well, we do want some swimming around, but I want it to get you. Let's get a little bit closer then in that case. Where is it going? It's not going where I want it to go at all. Right, let's get right on top of it and then we'll look right down. There we go. Ah, perfect. That's what we need. So he's a little bit right on the edge of there, but no, that's fine. We'll get a few dotted around there. We'll get a few more swimming, perhaps a few more in amongst the rocks, but I think that's what we're going to have. I think that looks pretty good. Now, obviously, if I put railings or anything around the edge, it's going to be too big. But I think I don't have any kind of nesting material other than this really. So I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's get the Hesperornis in. I'll get them arranged, and then we'll see how it looks like. Alright, here we go. I think this looks pretty awesome. I've got a couple swimming in the water, but I've got one of each on the platforms and one over there. So that's 7 Hesperornis. So again, talking about naming, if you want a Hesperornis named after you, please do put it down in the comment section. But make sure it is only you that we're naming it after, not just some random name that you've thought of. That's how we're doing it now. And also, of course, the Kairuku. We've had a few requests for Kairuku already. And but there's still plenty more to go around. If you want a Kairuku named after you, please let me know. And yeah, we've also got 1 or 2 other animals. I think what did I say it was yesterday? I believe I have a terror bird, a Paraceratherium and a Giganto available for naming. So any of those you want, stick it down in the comment section and we'll do the naming next Saturday in the next episode. Right, well, I think we're almost at the end there. I think what we'll do, since we've got a few minutes left of the episode, we could go back over and do a little bit of decoration in one of the other lake exhibits since we're over here. So I'm going to dive over, I'll figure out which one I want, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so in the Beaver Pen here, now this one is decorated, but if you saw the one where I put the beavers over in this area, I did spawn in some beaver dams, and unfortunately they don't seem to persist. They despawned after a while, next time I logged in. So, but since that episode, we have now got these redwood logs, and I think that might be a perfect thing to put in this area, because obviously they're going to want to chew on logs and whatever and build the dams out of that. So we can actually have a go at doing that, and I think that looks a lot better. Let's have a fly up and have a little look. Just a couple of logs in here. Yeah, that's all it really needs, just something a little extra. That's absolutely perfect. So let's just have a quick look. What we need to do, ideally, let's have a look here. Is there a, oh, there isn't a barrier. Okay, so what I want to do is just put a little barrier in between some of these exhibits, just to kind of separate them out a little bit. I've got, with the otters is done, that actually needs to be changed, because I had made this invisible, so that, because this barrier of rocks is all we kind of need. I think I might want to do that as well. This one is kind of, we did this one yesterday, the Baryonyx enclosure, looks so much better now. So I think let's have a go, move on then, and we'll do the these two enclosures, the Capro and the Sarco. Not a huge amount needs to be done, just a few little bushes and ferns and things. There's some bamboo on either side, so we'll get some bamboo plants, I think, and stick a few in here, and just decorate those beaches a little bit. It's not too bad, there's quite a decent amount of natural decoration in these enclosures anyway, but just a little bit extra. So I'm going to get the bits I need, and we'll just finish up these two. Okay, first thing I want to do is stick in some rocks here, just on the edge of the water line. Now these take up quite a bit of space, so we'll try and just avoid them a little bit. Stick in like a few little rocks around them. Don't need to do too much. Bamboo I think would be a good thing. We'll stick in a bunch of bamboo over this side here. So there's quite a bit of it. Got little sort of sprigs of bamboo there and there, and there's a whole load on this side as well. So this could be, well, we don't want to block this area. This is the viewing area for the Sarcos and for some of the lake, so we don't want to block off this area. This needs to be kept free of vegetation as much as possible. But over here at this point I think would be a nice area just to put in a little bit there. We could put some maybe closer to the water, maybe on this point, just here could be good. And there we go, that looks pretty good one. And then we've got basically got some ferns and things. We can actually stick a whole load of ferns and stuff. Maybe like a fountain. We'll do this one a little bit further away so it doesn't block off too much of the view. That should be fine. And we'll stick some more ferns over this point and this point here. And again, since we've got the rocks here, I've also got the wisp grass, so we'll do the same sort of thing. Just stick in a little bit of grass here and there. Looks pretty nice. A bit more on this side. Maybe we can get some more rocks in. There's a bare area. Let's have a look over here. There we go. And then we'll stick in some grass like that. Can we just pick that up? There we go. Right, okay, so that looks about all we need to do for this area. Don't need to be too crazy. I think maybe a little bit of coral, because you can see it looks so much nicer with the coral underneath. It just gives that little bit of extra colour. So I'll do that in a moment. I think what I'll do is to zip over and do the same on this side with little bits of bamboo and the rocks and stuff and the ferns. We can go over here. So first of all, let's get some rocks in. We'll bring them up to the beach a little bit. Leave every now and again like this. Perhaps one more here. That looks fine. We'll stick the grass in, and that's pretty much all we need to do. It just really brings it up to scratch, because obviously when I first did this I didn't have the Ecos mods in, so we didn't decorate any of the enclosures. But now as we're going along, if I do some of these, I think I find these lake exhibits to be the quickest ones to build, because there's not a huge amount you need to do in them. So we've also got time to do this and to upgrade the older ones. I'll stick some of this in the corner here. That'll look quite nice. A bit like this. Not too much over this side, because we've got the viewing area. Again, we've got this kind of viewing area here. People can kind of sit up here, the benches and things. Looks really nice, so we want to leave this kind of front bit here especially to be pretty much empty. Maybe what we could do is put in one of these big old ferns in this area, and then we'll just stick in some of the smaller ferns along this wall like this. And there we go. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll stick in a little bit of coral under the water, and then we're done. Alright guys, so we've placed in just bits of coral here and there, and it looks really nice. This gives it an extra bit of colour And I've done, this is the Capra enclosure, and I've done the same thing with the Sarco enclosure, but in a bunch of coral and stuff. It looks really, really nice. One thing I do want to do is just to separate out these two enclosures with some rocks. So we've actually got the same kind of rocks as we used for the otter enclosure. We can actually just extend this along and make this look better, and it will also just keep it separated out, and I think it'll look pretty good. Let's have a go. Do these like this, and another one. Oh, it's very difficult to build underwater. I'm kind of a lot of people know I've said that after this series is finished, I'll be doing an underwater series with all the underwater dinos. I'm kind of a little bit scared of doing that because there's just so much could go wrong. It's just so difficult to build underwater, and the whole series is going to be underwater. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Well, in a way I am, but it's going to be very difficult. But there we go. Okay, we have now separated out those two enclosures with a line of rocks, so that kind of keeps them separated out. That looks pretty good. Probably do that all the way along, maybe. We'll see how it goes. I think there are some fences separating out some of the other enclosures, but this one wasn't, so there we go. Right, okay, I think we're done. I think let's have a quick fly up and have a look from the air, see the colour. But yeah, I think it's now beginning to rain, so it seems like a good place to kind of leave it for the day. So there we go. So we can see a splash of colour, some corals and that sort of stuff. Looks really good. And then the beaches. Yeah, and because these ones were done with the decorations, this area just looks amazing. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, again we've got loads of colour and the corals, and then the beaches are now decorated. Fantastic. Right, so let's do what we did yesterday. We'll zip over to the Hesperornis enclosure, have one final look at that. And actually I hadn't put any coral in that, did I? It might be worth just to stick in just a couple of pieces since I've got them on me. I don't think we need too much, but just to give it a bit of splash of colour. And again, at some point we'll get this area done as well. There's a whole load of coral and stuff needs to be put in this water, and those beaches decorated. As I say, there are more river things to do. So we will be back over here by the water in the future, so we can do that next time out, or in a few weeks. We'll see how we go. But yep, so we've got the beaches decorated. Yeah, what do you think? A little bit of coral. We're almost done with this. Let's just dive in under the water, and we'll stick in a big coral reef right under the centre of these pillars, and then we'll just stick in some of the other ones around about. A few of these. These ones are good, nice sort of splash of colour. We'll come over this way like that. Like that. There's another sort of largish one. We'll stick that down here. And some little tall ones dotted around. And I think that will do. So let's have another quick fly look from the air. There we go, that looks better. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And we've got our nesting Hesperornis, a couple of swimming ones, and then there's one over there in the rocks. Fantastic. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. That's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do appreciate it. If you want any of these dinos named after you, stick it down in the comment section. Don't forget to check out my Discord and my Twitter, and hopefully you'll come back next weekend and we'll build some more here at the zoo. I'll see you then. Goodbye.